In the world of chess, there are great games, and then there are games that transcend time, becoming immortalized in the history books. In 1999, at the prestigious tournament in Wijk on Z, Garry Kasparov faced off against Veselin Topalov in what would become one of the most brilliant and aggressive attacking games ever played. Kasparov, already a world champion and living legend, unleashed a ferocious assault that combined deep calculation, tactical precision, and breathtaking sacrifices. What started as a standard opening quickly spiraled into a tactical masterpiece, with Kasparov sacrificing material, driving Topalov's king across the board, and sealing the game with a stunning combination that left the chess world in awe. Kasparov opens with the king's pawn. Topalov chooses the perk defense, aiming for a flexible and counter-attacking setup. The classical perk setup, Topalov aims for a hyper-modern strategy, allowing white to build a center and striking back later. Alternative variation with c6. Kasparov sets up for a quick kingside attack. As far as we know, black usually plays c6 and b5 before the move bishop g7, but we don't think that this shift changes something seriously. Alternative variation, knight f3. Topalov begins queenside expansion with b5, a typical perk idea. A strange move, alternative variation, bishop h6. Better late than never, it is useful to exchange the bishop. White achieved some sort of success as black cannot castle in a shorter direction. However, this achievement is rather ephemeral because the king can hide on the queen side as well. White king will also castle there as a result. Maneuverable fight is waiting ahead, and white cannot count on significant gains. Exchanging the dark squared bishop is risky, it weakens black's kingside. Kasparov did not want to castle at once because it was not clear how to defend the king after queen f5 from the b4 threat. This is a bit premature. Topalov wants to counter in the center, but white is better developed. Safer was queen b6 to keep pressure on the center. Kasparov castles queenside, the signal for an all-out attack. It was probably possible to castle at once, but Topalov defends his king from the potential threat of d5 just to be on the safe side. We doubt that this threat was that real, but black found this move desirable. This maneuver seems slow, but Kasparov is repositioning the knight to a better square via b3. Stockfish suggests g3 to prepare bishop h3 more directly. The development of both sides is coming to its end. However, black has to show some enterprise, as he is under some pressure. A very good decision. Relief in the center. Taking advantage of the fact that white is a bit backward in development, black does not hesitate to open the game and relies on the possibility that active pieces will compensate for the weakened position of the king. A good move. Black prepares d6 to d5. Now we already have dim contours of a combination. Now the bishop will move to h3, the queen will return to f4, the knight will go to a5, and the blow will take place somewhere in that area. Topalov thinks that he has some time and can calmly prepare for d6, d5. Kasparov reroutes his knight to a5 to pressure c6. However, Stockfish prefers bishop h3, first to keep attacking momentum. So, both sides have fulfilled what was planned. White has finished the development and black has played d6 to d5. Queen f4, check. Kasparov creates dual threats, pressure on d5 and potential kingside infiltration. Topalov steps into the open. This king will soon become a target. That was when we saw the possibility of a draw. Moreover, we felt that there was a possibility to continue the game, to play without the rook, though we could not imagine what it would lead to. Both players play with absolute precision. Topalov counterattacks in the center, but Kasparov is one step ahead. Frankly speaking, this move is not the strongest, but it serves as a prologue for a further combination. Sacrificing the rook to open up the king. If Topalov captures, the lines open disastrously for black. The losing move, but hard to blame Topalov. Better was queen b7 to hold the position, but white retains attacking chances. A brilliant intermediate move. Kasparov drags the king further into the open. The rook was inviolable. Such moves are always made with pleasure, and all I have said before turned out to be ruined. Two white rooks sacrifice themselves, and thus, the way to the black camp is opened for white's pieces. A brutal deflection, forcing the king to step onto the edge of the board. A slight mistake, rook a7, would have ended the game faster. Alternative variation, bishop take d5. Topalov fights back. This is the most natural defense. Topalov's last mistake, walking into the mating net. He could have tried queen f1 check to stay alive a bit longer. King hunt begins. Kasparov exposed the black king. A brutal check. The black king has no escape. Kasparov forces the king into a death march. The black king has made the way to his cavalry, from e8 to d1, across the whole chessboard, and when it seems that he has reached a quiet harbor, white has no more checkmates. The bishop, which was on h3 and did nothing but shot in the emptiness and defended the e6 square, made his move. The quiet killer, sealing the king's fate with a deadly pin. Black makes a counterblow, and for another second it seems that the worst is left behind, because white seems to have no more resources. The weakness of the a1 to h8 diagonal is the most important element of this combination. Usually everything depends on such trifles. If only the black rook had been on g8, there would have been no combination at all. And after rook d7, black has nothing else to hope for. However, Topalov still continued the fight mechanically. Black has to take the rook on d7. Forced, Topalov has no other way to defend. White gives back material temporarily to maintain the mating attack. Simple and brutal, Kasparov collects the hanging rook. The material balance is restored, but Topalov's king is still helpless. This move gives the illusion of activity. If black suddenly takes on h7, then after c3 he will queen the black pawn. But we did not play drafts, it was not obligatory to capture, and now the queen could show her true strength. Cutting off the king once again, the queen controls the entire board. Kasparov is setting up a forced sequence leading to mate or massive material gain. Topalov's last desperate shot, pushing the passed pawn to threaten promotion. But it's too slow. Kasparov's queen gives checks with precision, driving the king further into the open. The black king continues its death march. A cold-blooded killer move. Kasparov calmly improves his position. No need to rush, the win is secured. Topalov tries to create some breathing room, but it's all over. Neutralizes any black's hope connected with c-pawn. Topalov tries one last defensive stand, but Kasparov already sees the finish line. Topalov resigns. The queen cuts off all escape squares. The queen starts attacking black pawns, and the h2 pawn is inviolable because of queen g1 check. The next threat is queen e3 check, followed by forced mate. Topalov resigned and this wonderful game was over.